What's going on, you guys? It's Tax Cypher here. What I wanted to do is talk about is understanding 1099. So as we're getting closer to end of the year, we want to have this data that we're starting to clean up so we can have it ready come January. Once we reconcile our bank accounts, we start getting our 1099s ready so we can start sending those out to our contractors basically. So what a 1099 actually is it's a form that you're going to use as a business owner or an investor that's showing that you want to take a deduction for an expense from your business to pay someone else for their services so that you get the write-off and then letting the contractor know how much you paid them so that they know how much to record as income on their side. So that's pretty much why the 1099 exists. And there's different types of 1099s. What we kind of want to focus on right now in this is just the 1099 NEC or non-employee compensation. And so what we want to start to look at is who's required to send them. So anytime, like I said, you're a business owner or an investor, you're going to be required to send these forms. So there is a dollar threshold. You probably heard it before. A lot of people get confused around that $600 number. So a lot of people think they don't have to report income if it's under $600. That's kind of what they hear. But no, what that $600 limit is for anyone that has a business, then they're going to pay anyone that they paid out more than $600 for. So, like, say this is a bookkeeper that we paid $640 for, it's over the $600 threshold. So, we would need to 1099 our accountant for their services of $640. Now, it doesn't mean that, you know, up here when I paid someone for decks and patios is $234, that they don't have to record that $234 as income because it's under $600. That's not the right way to look at it. So the person that I paid the 234, they're still required to pick up that $234 as income on their end. They just don't have to receive a 1099 from the company that paid them for their services. So a lot of times I have people that get that confused as I'm doing tax returns. Um, whether whether corporations get 1099s or not, you definitely want to work with your professional on that side. For the most part, there are some corporations that you don't have to issue those 1099s to, which makes it a little bit easier. And then the other thing that makes it just a little bit easier is if we're paying people through Venmo or PayPal, those companies are now going to be required to issue what's called a 1099-K that's going to take that portion for you. So I do see some people that only pay strictly out of Venmo, strictly out of PayPal, in a way just to kind of relieve that responsibility of filing 1099s at year end. So for the most part, yeah, who can get these? You know, you look at any contractors, freelancers, maintenance workers, you know, anyone performing services for your trade, business, or your rental activity is going to get them. There's times where, you know, rent payments or attorneys or medical service providers, those are usually complicated things that pop up. So you'll definitely want to, you know, talk with the person that's helping you do your 1099s. And then what I wanted to do was just show you what a W-9 form looks like. Pull this up just a little bit. So this is a W-9 form. So as a business owner, anytime someone provides services to you, you really shouldn't give them any payment until you have this W-9 on file. The reason why, because if you waited till December 3rd or January to get these forms from people that provided services for you, and maybe they only did it a one-time event, trying to get this W-9 from them is going to be super, super difficult. So I recommend that before you give anyone payment, especially even for a new year, just make sure that they have an updated W-9 for you. So what this is this just has them provide their legal name, their address, and then they're going to provide either their social security number or their federal identification number. And then they're also going to let you know the entity type. So depending on the entity type, the reason why we want these is because if we're saying, hey, corporations don't need to get the 1099, then we want to have this form on file proving that when they filled this out, they said they're a corporation. And that's why we didn't issue out a 1099. So you definitely want to make sure you're caught up to speed on corporations. I'm just kind of providing some low level advice for you guys right now. So um, the penalties around not issuing 1099s is really big. So you can have penalties if you didn't issue out these 1099s anywhere from $60 for per late form if filed within 30 days, $120 per form after 30 days, $310 per form if after August 1st or not filed. And the IRS can actually ding you up to $630 per form if the IRS can apply that you intentionally disregarded the fact that you weren't going to issue out a 1099. So the IRS is definitely cracking down on uh, companies issuing out 1099. So if you think about it, you want to make sure you're getting that deduction. So without documentation, without proof, without these items, the IRS could come in and possibly disallow your deduction because you didn't issue out the 1099s, which is a big deal. So want to make sure we're getting those done. So highly recommend as we move into next year, you start to get these W-9s on anyone that's you provided payment to that haven't got you this form so that you can then give this to your accountant, your bookkeeper. So we do these for our clients. So you get the W-9s and then we need the amount paid. And with those two items, we can basically get everything drafted up and we just e-file the information over to the IRS. And also you make sure that you get a copy so that you can get it to the provider as well. So hopefully this video will be of some value to you guys. If you have any questions, just please drop them down in the comments. But yeah, if you have a QuickBooks software that you have already tracking these things, really all you need to do is just go over to your vendors and make sure that you've checked the box saying this type of person is going to receive a 1099 and you should be able to do it all through your software. But anyway, hopefully this helps. We will talk soon. We'll keep you guys updated with any additional information as we move into end of year and tax season.